Yeah, good morning, YouTube. So here's the power shelf, and I've got my battery management or BMS board down there, and you can see the blue LED is off. And what happened yesterday, again, I was trying to run the battery pack down, see how far down it would go, and this pack number 4 here on the bottom dropped out. I'll show you the log view trace a little later in the video. You can see where the pack just dropped out. What happened was the upper 3 packs were still at about 3.5 volts, but the bottom pack dropped down to 2.5, tripped off the BMS, so it shut down. Right now I've still got the iCharger plugged in to the power cable there. That load of the iCharger trying to turn on is making the BMS keep itself shut off because it's detecting there's a load on the batteries. So I'm going to pull one of the power plugs from the iCharger out, and you'll notice this LED will come on a little bit. You can see the LED's on, but it's very faint. So I imagine what the BMS does is it probably lets a small amount of current through the FETs on the output just to check if there's a load or charging current. That must be enough current to let that LED turn on really faintly. What I'm going to do here is I've got a lead acid battery here. I'm going to power the iCharger off of this battery here, and this is the battery I picked up for my garden sprayer, and I just wanted to show you the turn-on process here. So let me get these things hooked up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap this cable right now that's powering the iCharger. I'm going to instead plug that in to the charging output. So now I'm going to be using the iCharger to pump current into the BMS, and I'll be powering the iCharger off of this lead acid battery. Okay, here we've got the iCharger up there, and I'm going to reach over here. I'm going to clip on the lead to the 12-volt lead acid battery here. So there we go. The iCharger booted up. Now what I want to do is I'm going to do just a quick charge here. So I've got a 4S charge, and let's go back down here. Now I've got the output of the iCharger is feeding into the BMS there, and I'm going to hit the button. Okay, so let's see, that's saying low voltage. Okay, yeah, what I did was I checked the voltage across the BMS, and it's still doing its sensing mode. So there's about 8.3 volts there, and I think that's confusing the iCharger because it sees that, and it sees that it's a 4S battery, and it says, wow, that's way too low, 8 volts for a 4S. So what I've done is I've set up the NiCad charge. So let's see if that does the trick here. Battery check, and let's see. Yeah, there we go. Now you can see the LED is on, so now I can probably do a stop, go around to lithium now, and I'll do a charge, and we're doing a check. Now it's okay. I guess the problem was the iCharger is sensing that output voltage of the BMS. So I guess the iCharger is too smart to figure out that there's a BMS there. It doesn't know what to think of that. But if you go into NiCad charge, with most of these 4-button chargers, with NiCads they just go by the voltage. It jumped up and tried to put about 14.2 volts in there. So I figure once I get this lead acid battery discharged, I'll be switching these 4 groups of cells down here. I'll move them up to the top, and then I'll put 4 groups of cells that I've already tested in the bottom, and then I'll repeat the testing that I've done on the top 4 cells on these bottom 4 groups. So anyway, let's go take a look at the log view graph, and we can see what happened to that battery there.
Yeah, so here is the charging profile that I recorded off of the iCharger in log view, and I was doing a 4 amp charge here, the green line, and I had just dropped off of the constant current into the constant voltage mode right at the end. And then in blue, this is the input voltage. So I had started out a little bit low on the 4S battery pack. It was at 14.9 volts. And you can see it dropped down here. So pretty much once it hits about 14 volts on the 4S pack, that's where it starts falling off. And most of this is due to that pack number 4 in the 4S battery. So I've got to look at that one, see what's going on at that point, because down here, like at the 13 volts, the other 3 packs are about 3.5 volts each. So 3.5 times 3 gives you 10.5 volts. And then the cutoff here is when pack number 4 drops to 2.5, and then it rebounds up to 3.3 or so. That is what the 4S pack looks like right before it shuts off. That's a pretty handy setup with the iCharger and the serial cable, and then with LogView to monitor what's going on. And then I have the cell voltage meter that's watching the details of this 4S pack. That turn-on process is a little bit complicated with the iCharger, so I wanted to show you that. You have to use the NiCad battery charging mode. So yeah, I'll wrap this up. I'll try to put a couple of videos over here on the side you might be interested in. And if you have any questions about this testing, post up in the comment section below. And yeah, stay tuned for a future video when I try to figure out what's going on with that pack number 4. You can subscribe to the channel. I've got a link down here for subscribing if you haven't already done so. And as always, thanks for watching.